Alert Zone. Welcome to the Alert Zone TV. I'm the Wizard Uncle James. I would love you guys and girls to become active citizens. Y'all already know how to do that. Shout out to everybody because it's a worldwide movement. And this is an impromptu live stream. I can't even call it Midnight Madness, even though it's midnight here Central Standard Time. Um, Kind of a pop up. I usually give you guys and girls a notice. I was actually taking a nap and I just jumped up and I said, hell, let me do a little 30-minute live stream tonight. So it's kind of midnight madness. Give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here. As you can see, we don't got the incinerator tonight. I gotta go buy me some more incense, and I'll probably go hit the store up tomorrow morning. Go and buy another round of incense. And we'll have that. So I give everybody a couple minutes to get up in. Yeah, we'll just have a little chit chat conversation, and we keep it moving. By the way, for those of you, all right, what's going on? Appreciate you. I can't call it, man. Just doing a little impromptu. I want to shout everybody out because it's a worldwide movement. Like I said, make sure you sub to the other channel. I got my foot in it. Right now we cooking. It's starting to somewhat thaw out up here in Iowa. I said another month or two, everything should be thawed out. I'm gonna start hitting the water. Start doing some fishing and some hunting on the other channel. Well, the hunting, I don't know, because animals not the shit, the wildlife up here. I'm sorry, the wildlife up here in Iowa is a little bit different than Louisiana, where I'm from. So I don't know anywhere that has hogs. Just a lot of little stuff around here. Even like in the swamp, the woods up here, you don't really see squirrels and rabbits and stuff. You see them more in town than you do out in the wilderness. So, hunting in Iowa is a little bit different. But I'm gonna be working on trying to get to some places where they got hogs and things like that, so I can do a lot of hunting on the other video. But you definitely see me doing some cooking. Like I said on my other channel, you don't have to be a gourmet chef to feed yourself. And you don't have to be in the kitchen for 50 hours. I just love cooking. It's one of my things that I like to do. That's why I decided to start the other channel. So give everybody a couple minutes to get up in here, and then 5 minutes we'll just start talking. But yeah, make sure you sub to that channel. I'm close to 50. Once I get to 50 subs on that channel, then they said I could start doing live streams. So as I'm cooking, I'll be live streaming and answering you guys and girls' questions and taking some of y'all input, like I said. So I give y'all a couple minutes to get up in here. But I definitely want to spend some time on that water this year. Pulling out some catfish, pulling out some trouts. That's my main two fish: catfish, trouts, redfish, amberjack, tuna. Fuck, I gotta go down to the Gulf for that. Go to Louisiana and go down in the Gulf. But I'm gonna introduce you guys to a lot of different things, just food-wise, on my other channel, man. So, and here on the Alert Zone TV, I'm kind of talking to some people behind the scenes, trying to work out a couple sponsorships for the channel. Definitely, not only so when I do a product review, I can get a product for myself, but I can go ahead on and give that out, share with everybody. So, like I said, just make sure you sub to both of the channels. I definitely appreciate y'all. I love when y'all hit the like button when you come up in here and you catch the replay. And anyhow, like I said, it's good to be back. So it's taking me a little bit to get back on track, but it's good to be back because that week and something that I had off, a lot happened. As a matter of fact, y'all hold on right quick. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay, I'm back. Let's go ahead and get into it, man. I just wanted to do like a little gun talk, and see what everybody got going on. Last year, 2025 was the first year in years. I don't believe I bought a gun last year. You know that's definitely gonna change because that's a no-no. I don't believe I bought. Let me see. Yeah, yeah, I didn't buy not one last year. I mean, which is the last 10 years at least is unheard of. So definitely gotta make sure I make that up this year. But yeah, like I said, I got a list um, that I'm working on, and I'm gonna go down my list. I won't show it here. I got it written down, but I'm gonna go down my list and take things from here and there, and keep building up my arsenal. Like I said, I have everything I need to protect myself. I say this. I always say 5 to 7, but 3 is the bare minimum. If you got 3, a pistol, well, really, I say 4. 2 pistols, shotgun, and a rifle. You can't go wrong. The reason I say 2 pistols is you're more likely to use your pistol than you are any of your other firearms in self-defense. You got to understand something. You defend yourself, it's not like on TV where they leave and say, okay. No, you defend yourself is a process, and they're going to take that firearm. Might be a couple months before you get it back. If it's something like really prestigious, you're going to have to stay on them. I mean, like once every week, every other week, you got to call them. If you don't call them, you're going to run into a problem. You guys and girls saw my little testimony I did about my Zesius safe. And I talked about how I had that SD9 stolen from me. When they did retrieve that firearm, because it was stolen, I think, on a Sunday night, and within a week, if that, they already had retrieved that. It took me almost 2 years to get it back. Yeah, took me about a year and a half, something like that, because they had to prosecute the case and what have you. So you got to defend yourself. You just never know how long it's gonna be. And if you just buying strictly just to protect yourself, you're not buying guns because you want to collect. You just want to buy something to protect yourself. You don't have to spend a lot of money. So that's the one good thing about if you just buying just to protect yourself. You don't have to spend a lot of money. And 9 times out of 10, whatever you buy, you'll be able to find it again. Now, when you start a collection, that's a little bit different. Like, there's certain guns, you buy, and you guys and girls don't know some of the games that these people play, man, in these evidence rooms. You know what I'm saying? You remember the movie Gang Related? Tupac and was Belushi was going around setting people up, and they fumbled a couple cases because they brought the wrong gun into evidence. Well, that's a real life thing because a lot of movies is based on real life. And so you guys and girls, like I was saying, I got everything I need to protect myself. I'm at the want stage, buying the things that I want. Some of these guns been out for years, and I just never got around to getting one. For those of us who collect firearms, we not in competition with each other. We not looking at somebody else's competition and saying, I got to step my game up because I got to get one better than he is. Although it's nice to see some of these guys and girls collection, man, because they be really, really, you know what I mean? So it'd be good to see that. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to probably start buying some stuff this year. Catch up we is a lot of turmoil right now in the Second Amendment community across the country. If you're new to the channel, or if you didn't have time today, well, technically yesterday, Friday, I dropped a couple videos about different things that's going on around the country as far as the Second Amendment, and we we gotta hunker down, man, because they going at it. And sometimes I might say things that seem incendiary to some people. I might racialize some things, and you guys and girls may not like it. I'm doing it for a reason because I'm laying the proof on how this stuff got started. And then I'm showing you in real time how these guys and girls are using this formula to go after the Second Amendment. But I'm also ringing the alarm when, let's just say in the last 5, 10 years, when you see certain things going on in other states, you should start preparing. Here in Iowa, what they did was they put the Second Amendment and the different categories of restrictions and all that all on the ballot. So the voters put it into law instead of going through state legislature where it can be tampered with. Let's just say if another administration came in. So that's what we was able to get done here in Iowa. I'm gonna say this: when it comes to the Republicans, the Democrats, when it comes to the Second Amendment, I told you that's a more divided issue than people think it is. Is a wedge issue, is a football issue. The Second Amendment and abortion. That's how the Republicans and Democrats stay in office. They go after and fight for just a little bit, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, since we on the Second Amendment side of it, I told you guys and girls, we're gonna have to start hunkering down. We're gonna have to start pending this litmus test to potential candidates. Not only that, we're gonna have to start funding candidates to get in the race, to lay our agenda out. A lot of times the voters, we start the election process on election day. Now you're supposed to start when the cycle is up, when election day is over, Stupid Tuesday is over. Stupid Tuesday should be followed by Wise Wednesday. The day after the elections, we're supposed to already be starting the next part of the agenda, and we get it backwards. And I don't want to get too civic. Now I'll give you guys and girls an example. When Barack Obama won the first time, the night he got elected, the very next day, the Republicans had already had a closed meeting and was trying to figure out, okay, how do we counter this? Well, for us, the Second Amendment, the night, for my Virginia people, the night Spanberger, however you say her name, won, the very next day, the Second Amendment community in Virginia should have been on it, because you already know it's coming down the pipe. Even if you live in a red, quote unquote, red state, one thing about this country is people move around. And unfortunately, people bring a lot of times what they're running from with them. I know I keep singling them out, California. A lot of people that's leaving California because it's too expensive to live, it's too this, it's too that, they're bringing that with them. So they're running from something that they're bringing with them. As they say in Texas, don't California my Texas. Well, a lot of people from California came there with the very same policies that made California unaffordable. And you look at places in Texas, especially Austin, they said they want to turn that into the Texas, San Francisco of Texas. You know what I'm saying? So just things like that when it comes to the Second Amendment. A lot of these guys and girls, you may live in a quote unquote red state. You might live in a state like Texas, where it's basically been Republican controlled for I don't know how long, but that don't mean that that can't change. So you guys and girls have to pay attention. As I keep harping on, this what about Chicago thing gotta stop. If you believe in the Second Amendment, you ain't got no business saying what about Chicago. Look, The way you counter what about Chicago is you have your damn heat on you. That's how you stop that. Because it has been the wedge issue. You guys and girls are welcome to go back and fact check me and research yourself. In the last 10, 15 years, I'd say since about 2011, 2012, when the internet got really, really more user friendly and more people started gravitating towards the internet, that has been the number one thing. What about Chicago? What about Chicago? What about Chicago? They have pushed what about Chicago for so long that the rest of the country have glommed onto it. And I'm saying to you is, what does it matter what happens in Chicago when you don't plan on ever going there anyway? So what does it matter? Well, they seen what about Chicago and what about Chicago means, and they've pushed that across the country. There's people down in the southernmost tip of Florida talking about, well, what about Chicago? Uvalde happened. They were screaming, well, this is a once in a. What about Chicago? They've used that, and now people who have pushed what about Chicago, people who have constantly brought that up, starting to become a victim of it now, because they didn't figure out what it is, what the wedge issue is. And if we go back to something I tell you guys and girls, how connected this is to the Second Amendment. In 94, the crime bill, the 94 crime bill, Bill Clinton signed into law. They had an assault weapons ban. For those of you old enough to remember, and if you're young, you can go back and research it. Okay, I'll give you guys a quick breakdown of this real quick. Just follow me. The 94 crime bill had the 3 strikes. Also, it had making the states get their laws in line with the feds. It also had the VAWA, the Violence Against Women Act, which basically is how a lot of women came to the country, and if they had a partner that was domestically abusing them, it fast-tracked them to getting citizenship. And also, in the 94 crime bill was the assault weapons ban. So what it banned was the sale. It didn't have a magazine capacity ban at that time, for those of you who don't know. So at the time when 94 happened, you had Intratec, the same, some of the manufacturers that's around now, some of them that's not around. All of your quote unquote assault rifles and machine pistols, your Uzis, your Max, your Tech 9s and stuff like that. All of them had 30 and 40 and 50 round mags like nothing. It was nothing to see that type of stuff in there. The old M16 at the time, as it was called, all that was in the first assault weapons ban. When Bush got in office and he let it expire, that was that. When the idea of an assault weapon ban came back around, it came back around after Barack Obama got in office. And social media started becoming a thing. And we started hearing, what about Chicago? And Chirac, and Chirac. What about Chirac? Chirac. They used that constantly. They just plastered it all over TV, all over social media. All over. What about Chicago? What about Chicago? Chicago is just this dangerous place. It's the most dangerous city on the planet. They plastered that for so long that people started unconsciously repeating, what about Chicago? Somebody in a gated neighborhood find out there was a murder-suicide where the husband or the wife came home, killed all the children, the in-laws in the house, and themselves. And in the comment sections, you would still see, well, this is just a one-off, but this happens every day in Chicago. I tell you guys and girls, even now that we got this AI and Chat GPT and all this stuff, that's how I got that damn strike on my channel. It was the computer that struck me. I mean, like right quick. Maybe if I would have waited till the next day and during the daytime and filed for appeal, maybe I would have won it. But the computer right away denied my appeal. Well, you got these computers and stuff doing all this talking and thinking for you and what have you. They figured out how to get that into the algorithm. And what about Chicago was how they was able to keep the California assault weapon ban going and the magazine restrictions and all that. But then that's how they was able to get the Illinois ban through. And around the country, in other states, they kept bringing it up. Maryland, New York, just you name it, they kept bringing it up. What about Chicago? What about Chicago? And we see on American streets, these are weapons of war. What about Chicago? What about, and they use that to the point now the whole country, law-abiding citizens, is starting to suffer from what about Chicago. I'm pointing it out because now it don't feel so good. And the reason I decided to point that out is I know a lot of people that's into gun tube have that mentality. I've seen some of the comments, oh yeah, well this oh, you guys see the comments. You guys see the racial jockeying in the comments that go on. Now a lot of those people that was laughing, it ain't so funny now. And it's sad. It's really sad. I told you guys and girls, I showed you the story on a live stream I did. I might actually do a video again about that. About how in Virginia that gun store owner refused to sell that black guy a damn firearm. It ain't funny now. See, people in Virginia was watching that. They was like, yeah, good. This is the kind of stuff we want to see right here so we can figure out how to go after firearms. Think about it. He refused to sell him a firearm. Thank goodness this guy caught this on video. And he said he didn't want to sell him a gun because he thinks it's for nefarious purposes or what have you. And the Virginia state legislature and everybody was watching and was like, yeah, good. We know exactly what to use to get this through. Now they're in Virginia, the sheriffs and people like that screaming and hollering, talking about what's not fair. And no, man. Look, when it comes to the Second Amendment, right got to be right and wrong got to be wrong. We can't have it where wrong is right and right is wrong. No, we can't have it like that. Because unfortunately, when you have these kinds of sentiments, there's always going to be collateral damage. And right now in Virginia, there's a lot of law-abiding citizens that's on the edge of their chair because they don't know what's going to get through and what's not. And just imagine, this lady that's the governor of Virginia is going to be the governor, I think, for 7 years. So whatever she don't get through now, you can best believe she's going to come back. They going to revisit it. Illinois, like I said, the Rifle Act. Now they're trying to go after the manufacturers. California with their little Glock ban and what have you. I mean, so these guys and girls, they sit around and they watch and they analyze and they talk to each other. They want to know what the sentiment is. They want to know what's the popular direction. So if they agree with it, they can roll with it. If they disagree with it, they can get out ahead of it and curve it. And what's really bad about Virginia is they're trying to... There's a fight over the grandfather clause when it comes to these quote-unquote assault weapons. That's the big fight. The capacity and grandfathering. And I'm going to tell you, for those who want the no possession and don't want the grandfather clause in it, they got about a 60-70% chance of getting that through. You guys and girls know, yeah, it's going to get tied up in court for a little bit, but you can't trust the Supreme Court. And you got to remember something. Virginia is connected to D.C., just like Maryland. You got that tri-state, with the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, right there. If the Supreme Court, the conservative Supreme Court, let Maryland have an assault weapons ban and then upheld it when it got to them, what you think they're gonna do in Virginia? Because you know what they're thinking about? Well, Virginia's still basically parts of it connected to DC. So for those of you who listen to this channel, you already know my stance. For those of you who don't listen so good, but you catch snippets on this channel, I'm gonna explain this to you again. The Republicans and the Democrats have bipartisan disdain for the Second Amendment. All it is a wedge issue. That's all it is. It's just something to keep them in office. Most Republicans don't support the Second Amendment. They'll tell you that. If you listen to them talk, they'll tell you that. They don't really support the Second Amendment like that. Because the Second Amendment is supposed to be colorblind, and it's not. The Second Amendment is supposed to be religiously blind, and it's not. Period, point blank. It's not. And the Republicans okay with that. So I don't want to hear nothing about the Republicans and the Democrats. Like I said, the Second Amendment has got to be something that's absolute. You got to feel like this. As a law-abiding citizen, you should not be for any kind of restrictions because that restriction might turn on you. I'm all for people having 30 and 50 and 100 rounders. You know, it's our right. I say this. A lot of people like to use mass shootings as a deterrent. Here's the problem. Most of these mass shootings, especially in the hood, that's stolen firearms. Now, these school shootings and these church shootings, well, that community has to have a discussion with itself. And, you know, I talked about that in my gun talk the other night, and, you know, some people agree and some people probably don't, and that's fine. I want you guys and girls to understand something. When it comes to the Second Amendment, we got to learn that is absolute. And whatever differences we have, we got to put it aside keep that. Because like I said, as reading this Rifle Act, and this in Virginia in particular, see, they're trying to set this precedent. The original assault weapons ban, like I said, back in '94, just banned the sale of quote unquote assault weapons in high capacity mags. It banned the manufacturing of it, but it didn't ban the sale and the possession. Well, Virginia's trying to go for banning the possession. And do you understand? Because eventually it's going to get upheld. I don't care what nobody say. Unless they show me different. The data shows me it's going to be upheld because of the location. And remember, California has gotten away with this for decades. New York State has gotten away with this for decades. So, remember, it can go like that. And once they ban the possession, you take a chance, because you're going to have some of these sheriffs that's going to jump out there like in Illinois and say they ain't going to enforce it. You don't know that. Let's be honest. Let me address the elephant in the room. When these sheriffs in Illinois say they ain't downstate, they ain't enforcing this assault weapon ban and all that, when it's come to black folk, they gonna enforce it against us. They definitely gonna march you down there and make you do the perp walk. All of y'all in Virginia, don't take a chance, man. Don't take a chance, because the county cop say he ain't gonna stop, because you still got state and federal. And if you've never been to Virginia, you don't understand. There's federal agents all over Virginia. Virginia, Maryland, DC, man, there's federal agents all over them state, all over them places. In some of the most backwoods places in Virginia and Maryland. For those of you who never been to Maryland, once you get off 95 and start heading back west on 70, you start getting into mountains. And once you get on the other side of 81, Maryland looks like a totally different state. The Maryland y'all used to seeing on TV is Baltimore, Annapolis, and stuff like that, the Eastern Shore. Western Maryland, Western Virginia, and West Virginia all look alike. They all mountains and country. Period, point blank. And so you guys and girls just gotta beware of that and keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk about it if you get on 68 and go through Cumberland and all that. Cumberland, Maryland. Bears and everything else on the side of the damn road. So you guys and girls just gotta understand something. When it comes to the Second Amendment, man, it is under attack. The only way we can fix the problem is we gotta acknowledge the problem all the way across the board, or we never gonna fix it. As I told you guys and girls, I'm an advocate for the Second Amendment. I don't care what state you live in. I don't even care what your political, religious, racial, sexual belief. I don't care about none of that. I want everybody that's able to be legally armed to protect themselves. That should be our number one goal. Because it's like anything. If you put a brick and you just let them start chipping this corner right here and you don't stop them, that crack, they're going to just start chipping, and it's just going to grow. And it's just going to grow. And you might stop them here and they might have to go start over here somewhere. But they didn't crack the foundation. Well, they already cracked the foundation when they made it clear we're going to use race to go after the Second Amendment. That has been their number one wedge issue. Like I said, I did a video about the guy in Virginia talking about how he went way back to when they wouldn't even sell black folk firearms, back to the 1800s. Because people listen to places like this. What's going on, Pause and Play? I appreciate you for checking in. I just doing a pop-up. He went back to the 1800s. He sounds woke. Yeah, I hear you, man. I'm hustling, man. I'm trying to get back going. I've been able to pick up some subs since my ban got lifted. And also, my other channel, you know. I'm trying to get up to 50 subs so I can start live streaming on there. Oh, okay. I took a nap. That's why I missed it, probably. It's called, I got my foot in it. You know how black folks say, you know, I got my foot in it. You put in, I got my foot in it. And might be like a little short video of me might come up. You might have to click on that one to get into the link because it's still blowing up in the algorithm. But yeah, on the other channel, I'm going to be doing some fishing and hunting on it also. You know, like I was telling everybody at the beginning of this live stream, probably more the hunting is going to be probably like south because just the wildlife here is not as active as it is in Louisiana and Texas. You know what I mean? You can fish up here and you can probably do good fishing, but like squirrels, rabbits, they don't have hogs up here. Stuff like that I want to go hunt, they don't really have that. You know, I mean, like when I go walk the woods, man, like I said, I'm still working on learning my head camera so I can go do some strolling in the woods and stuff on this channel. Okay. Yeah, well, you know, Louisiana, you know, we got bears everywhere for people who don't know that. I hear they do have them here in Iowa. I've yet to see one. That's why when I go in the woods up here, I have that pole on me. I have a big one too. But yeah, like I was saying about this Virginia um, lawmaker, man, he sounded woke when it came to defending the Second Amendment. I mean, like I said, he went back to the 1800s. All that stuff that they call woke. Because he recognized we pushed this foolishness for so many damn centuries. Now we never thought it was going to touch us. And Virginia is, I'll say this about the country. California is kind of like an island to itself. It's America, but it's kind of like California is like a totally different world. Everybody knows this. However, Chicago and Illinois has been ground central in the last 10 or 15 years to restricting firearms. And they figured out, especially with the rise of social media, they figured out exactly what was the issue and what to put out there, the algorithm, to get people to go along with the Second Amendment and get people to go along with restricting firearm rights. Even though it's the criminals causing all the havoc, that's not the way it's reported. It's not reported as the criminals. It's reported as them people, the 13 percenters, urban, all the fog, all the dog whistles. That's the way it's been reported because they know most of the country will go along with that narrative. Illinois never thought they would have an assault weapon ban, and they got one. And it started in Cook County, for those of you who don't know. Chicago is in Cook County. It started there first. And the rest of downstate Illinois didn't throw no fit. They didn't say, hey man, why would you guys even propose something like that? And I didn't know about this, but I have family that lives in the Chicago area, inside the city and in the suburbs. So that's how I found out about it before I got into GunTube. And then as I was getting into GunTube, I started finding out more and more about certain things in Chicago city limits and in Cook County they didn't want you to have. Then it spread it downstate. Virginia, like I said, I did some research the other day, and because I heard about this Second Amendment sanctuary city, and I wanted to see how did this even come about. And I noticed they had already had sanctuary counties in Virginia, and some of them just voted to renew it. And I said, okay, so if they already had sanctuary counties, they've been working on their Second Amendment, because you had to have Second Amendment sanctuary counties, and you ain't supposed to need that. My guess, from what I can understand, what I've been able to research, was the Alexandria up in that DC area. Once you get up around the DC area, I think that's Alexandria, Virginia. I'm sorry, Norfolk, Newport News, Richmond, Virginia Beach, them types of places. They've used them to say, okay, yeah, we got to have restrictions. We got to have restrictions. Part of it is they've said that the Alexandria area is too close to DC and this and that and the nation's capital. But it was a more sinister thing, and it just took a long time to get it through. It took a long time of them hammering and them hammering and them hammering and them hammering. Now it's here. Now, like I said, people from Virginia, on the edge of their seats now about what they can and can't have. And all they trying to figure out is what to get through. And when it comes to this assault weapons ban, well, the magazine capacity, they're going to get that through. They said the fight is only as if it's 10 rounds or 15. They're going to get that through. The biggest fight they have now is the grandfather clause. And I'm going to tell you, I've been around long enough, really and truly, I don't think they want a grandfather clause. That's what I actually believe in my heart. because a grandfather clause still gives people the power to possess. I actually think they want to get rid of it. They've already figured out, okay, if we got to keep, let them keep, then we'll just go ahead on and go after the mag capacity. Which, by the way, speaking of that, there's something else that happened while I was on my band. There's a company that has agreed to pay, yeah, they want to get rid of them all. And it's uncomfortable for people to listen to me tell people how they've done it, but I've researched this stuff. I'm not going to tell you I'm no damn professor or anthropologist. Like, I'm just researching like that, but I've researched this stuff. And I've watched how they've gotten these things through. I've researched it. And, but there's a company that was saying that I think they're going to pay almost $2 million because they lost a lawsuit because somebody in one of these states was able to put like some kind of modifier into their gun to make it you know how in California in some places your AR-15 got to be modified a specific way where it can't take more than 10 rounds. Well, some company made some kind of a part and somebody went on a rampage and they had altered the gun. So the company wound up paying almost $2 million in a settlement for that. You know, these guys and girls, they figured out eventually this thing about, yeah, as a matter of fact, if you guys and girls give me a second, I'll pull it up. Because I like to try and be accurate when I talk. You know, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to tell you guys that that I'm like the greatest source of information, but I try and keep you guys and girls informed as much as I can, and without making you go through all the legal stuff and sounding like, you know what I mean, like some of these other channels, you know, like you sitting in a law class. Um, let's see. Okay. Okay, here we'll. Yep. Okay. So let me say this. As of February 26th, gun accessory manufacturer Mean Arms LLC, also known as Mean LLC, agreed to pay $1.75 million settlement to the families of victims and survivors of May 14th racist mass for the Buffalo. That's what it was for. The top supermarket. Okay, the lawsuit brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James, my goodness, alleged that Means Arms provided step-by-step instructions on how to remove their MA lock. So, you know, New York upstate has a restriction on what you can have. The violation, this lock was designed to make AR-style 15 rifles legal in New York by preventing the use of high-capacity magazines. However, the easy promoted removal of the device allowed the shooter to convert his rifle into an illegal assault weapon, bypassing state law. In addition to the 1.75 million in restitution, the Georgia-based company agreed to stop selling the MA lock in New York and to remove all claims that the device is compliant with New York safety. So, like I said, you know, it was a top. Forgive me. I knew it was a mass shooting. I just wasn't sure which one. But it was wind up to being Peyton Gendron and the Tops Buffalo massacre, and where he was able to modify that rifle and go on his little rampage. I say this. Instead of going after the accessory companies and stuff, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. When is his community gonna have a discussion about culture? Shit, man, you keep making all these modifications, you keep making all these rules, and it keep being the same shit. I can talk about my community's culture because we always on display. Well, damn it, we gotta talk about violence in every community. We can't pick and choose. That's been the problem. When the Tops grocery store happened, there was no discussion from his community about the violent nature of the males in our community. It was, this guy is a one-off, he's a bigot, he's a racist, and blah, 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 and that was it. No. No, man, you just gotta look. If you can publicly come up here and talk about what my community do wrong damage, we can talk about yours. You don't want me talking about your community, then shut the fuck up about mine. Because that's been everybody's problem. And that's how they've managed to get all these damn bans going across the damn state. In California, it's proof, it's fact. They used the Black Panthers, and they just left it at that. Anytime you bring up trying to change the laws, they bring up LA and Oakland. And we know what that means. In Illinois, they went after Chicago and Cook County. Look at the rest of the state. Oh, man. Look. As a law-abiding citizen, I have these conversations with you guys and girls because I just want everybody to be safe out there. I want everybody to know out there that you got to know what you're getting armed for and why. I've asked those two questions and I keep asking them. And people have answered them, but it's just something to make you think. You can't live in Idaho talking about you worried about some south side of Chicago gangbangers because they ain't coming to pay you no visit in no damn Idaho up in no damn mountains. It's going to be the Aryan Brotherhood or Brian Kohlberger that's going to knock on your door up there. That's just a fact. Oh, Methany and Matthew. So, anyhow, shifting gears, because I don't want to just keep sounding like a wet blanket. It is a good time for people who live in places where there basically aren't many restrictions. Because I'm seeing a lot of new firearms come out that I'm kind of interested in. This year, I plan on getting me a 2011. I haven't made up my mind exactly which one I want to get. I want to get me a Prodigy. I'm more leaning towards the Prodigy than any of them, but I don't want like a comped small one. I want the 4.5 or 5-inch barrel. But I want me a 20. I'm gonna get me a 2011. But I'm also looking at that PSA Saber, I think the name of it is. Oh man, that thing looks nice, man. PSA, definitely aesthetic wise, has stepped up a lot. Now, as far as the quality, I still don't have no complaints about my AR. Oh yeah, Mr. 5'7". I got addicted when I went to Arm 5, man. That was the first. I went to Arm 5 for one reason. Well, let me rephrase that. I only went out there to shoot one firearm. That was a 2011, because I had never shot one before. I can see how 2011s become addictive, but I can also see why some of them cost so much money. Now, mind you, I think it was 2A in LA and Team Blacksmith. I shot a couple guns that was worth like $9,000, $10,000, $11,000. Them, was it Xfinity or Infinity? Them race guns they call them. My goodness, I shot some 2011s out there. Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. If you've never shot a 2011, I mean a good one. Yeah, I can understand how it can become addictive. A 2011 with the right optic on it and shooting steel targets. So it was the first time that I had all three of those together. 2011, an optic, and steel targets. My goodness. I felt like I was a damn professional out there. And them 2011s, man, you guys and girls, if you're new to the channel, I don't know how if you guys and girls can see the scar here and the scar along here. I got 13 screws, boy. Yeah, you right about that. I shot the Xfinity. I think I shot it in 38 Super. My goodness, man. But yeah, I can see why 2011 cost what they cost. But I mean, them slides, man. TV don't do it no justice. Watching it on your tablet don't do it no justice. Shoot one. Yeah, I mean, the recall on some of these 2011s is almost it's like butter, man. I mean, it just I shot a Platypus out there. I shot a Prodigy. I shot was it Apollo? Uh, I think I wind up actually now that I think about it, I shot somebody's Staccato. I didn't shoot the Chirac because whoever owned that Chirac wasn't at the table, and I didn't want to touch his gun without his permission. Even though it was there for people to shoot, I still like to have the owner's permission. Um, and Team Blacksmith and 2A, oh my goodness. They had like this, you can tell they just travel the country and do these damn competitions. They had like this gun case, and you open it from the top, man, and it fits like 10 guns in there. And I can tell you everything in there was custom, man. And my goodness, those 2011s just, I said, my goodness. As a matter of fact, it took me about 3 weeks, almost a month to recover from shooting. I was supposed to shoot one gun. After I shot the Prodigy, I was happy. They was like, no. Come over here, shoot this one. Come shoot this one. Come shoot this one. Shit, it got addictive. I kept going back and forth shooting all these damn 2011s, man. And the next, man, that night, man, my arm was swole up pretty good, man. My damn fingers was throbbing. And I didn't have my arm brace. But I did have a heating pad, so I put my arm on a heating pad, man. And so yeah, 2011. This year also I want to get me another AR. I'm gonna be honest, I don't shoot my Bushmaster much, and especially because it's kind of an older style Bushmaster. I'm gonna take it a loose, clean it up real good. Uh, I'm gonna check the scope on it, make sure it's still zeroed in, and yeah, it's gonna be a safe king for a long time. I will get me an AR. The Kimber 2011 is the favorite now. Yeah, you know what? Right before I went live, I got up. I seen the XP, the Fusion lineup, and the Kimber lineup. That Kimber got that, was it silver or gray and black one? Oh man, that thing looked nice. But yeah, I'm hearing a lot about Kimber when it comes to that 2011, man. Kimber has really stepped up from what I've heard, and they didn't got themselves in the game, you know. Like I said, shout out to a regular gun guy and fat guy with guns, man. Zach and them was talking about this the other night, man, about the 2011s. How basically Springfield was the company they was kind of crediting with making the 2011s affordable. And I know I've had people tell me that that's the bottom tier, but people who had the Prodigy said all they did was, I think, polish some of the parts on it, man, when they first bought it, and that just made it run like it's like running a Staccato. And now you got the was it Gerson and Apollo and some of these other companies, man. But yeah, after I shot a 2011, I can justify if I went and bought me a $2,000, $2,500 2011. I can justify it easily. For me, I'm not talking about to nobody else. Me personally, I can look at myself and say, yeah, I made this purchase and I don't regret it, man, because them 2011s, man, and they sold what they say modular where you can just do so many different things to them to customize them for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, you know what? That's what I was saying earlier when I was talking about the price of something to protect yourself. I think, and maybe let's just say I think I'm going to like a real nice steakhouse or something like that. Or I'm going somewhere where I'm gonna be dressed casual or dressy. It's the only place I would ever consider taking like a high end 2011 or something. Other than that, it's my echelon or it's something else, you know. Like you say, carrying a 2011, that's not ideal unless you got money like that. That's not ideal to carry around every day with you because you never know when you got to defend yourself. And I'm going to tell you, if you got one of these 2011s that I saw some of these dudes have, you ain't getting that back. You'll go through so much of paperwork and so much of jumping through hoops, you ain't getting that back. Yeah, I don't even think I would ever use a 2011 for home defense. Because they got too much stuff that's cheaper, that run almost as good. Yeah. Yeah, man, like I said, my two 1911s, they ain't all that. I ain't even gonna lie to you and tell I didn't pay a lot of money for them. They nice. They nice looking. My 38 Super runs flawless. My 45, I think 2 or 3 times I had an issue with it. But for the most part, I pull the trigger and I don't have. It's gonna run. I hardly ever carry them with me. I get a staccato or a prodigy or something like that. If I'm going somewhere, I feel like I gotta have 20, 15, 20 rounds on me. It'll be the echelon. Yeah, 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 man. Ain't no way in the world I'm carrying no damn $7,000 gun as no EDC. I'm just like I said, it wouldn't even be in my EDC rotation. It would have to be I'm going to Costco's and I just feel like grabbing this gun. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain guns like my 357 SIG. I hardly ever bring that out of the safe. Once in the blue moon, I'll carry that. Okay, appreciate you, appreciate you. Yeah, well, you know, I'm still working on getting some content, more and more content on that channel, to be a playlist, more and more cooking. You know, like I said this morning, I just did something simple, bacon, eggs, and and a little bit of toast. You know, um, and you know, I like I said, my cooking is something that everybody can come on to. So you guys and girls will see. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying though, as far as the race guns and stuff like that, man, it's yeah. You're right about that, Mr. 57. You get you a 2011, my goodness. Now, imagine 9 millimeter is not my favorite round. My favorite round is 45, but Baby Uzi is my favorite firearm. Man, I shot me a 2011. I'll tell you this. In the firearm game, I can see why so many people wind up with 9 millimeters. One day I was just going through my safe and I thought about it. Damn, I got more 9 millimeters than I do anything. And that's not even by. It's not like I planned on. Oh, I'm gonna get these nines. They just so accessible, man. And shit, you start getting 2011. So like you said, it's kind of like when I did the hunter's safety course, and they say you gonna go from. Because they talked about the steps of hunting. You gonna go from getting your license and being in compliance. Then the next step is you gonna want to go out and hunt. And if you don't get nothing, what's going on, man? 313, I appreciate you, man. No, I'm Manu. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It talked about how you start off, you want to get your license to be legal. Then you start going hunting, and if you don't get nothing, you're okay, cause it's just the sightseeing and the thrill of hunting. Then you go to hunting, and you get to the stage where you want something, and you'll be satisfied with small game. Then you'll get to where you start hunting for fun. Then you'll start getting to love hunting, and you'll do it for food and what have you. And then you'll get to the trophy stage, where it'll be deer season, and you'll see a fat body though, and you won't shoot it because you're waiting on that big rat buck. If you start collecting firearms, it's the same way, and especially for pistols. Now that 2011s have become the thing, because you remember back in the day, it used to be like Les Bear and all these custom-made 1911s that shot 45. Now that this 2011 thing then becomes so contagious, when you make it to 2011, you at trophy stage now. You at trophy stage. You ain't buying. When you get into 2011s, you don't want to hear nothing about no H&K. You don't want to hear nothing about no SIG X Legion. None of that. Yeah. Yeah, them 1911s was a whole lot more expensive. I'm not gonna run with the facts. Yeah, man. It just you start you get into 2011s, man. That's like trophy stage for firearms. You get into my opinion. All right, we're going on, Dr. T. My opinion is this: you get into 2011s, Daniel Defense, some of this upper echelon stuff, you didn't made it to trophy stage. You not in. I'm buying this, because I want to carry you in trophy stage. When you get to them 2011s, you once you get one, you gonna want another one. Then you gonna want another one. You gonna walk in there and you gonna see them Smith and Wessons. You're gonna be like, yeah, M&P, that's good for EDC, but I'm at. Although there is a Smith and Wesson I do want, the M&P, was it Spectre? One of y'all Smith and Wesson guys know what I'm talking about. It's the one. It's the full size, and it's got like the blue haze to it. Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, it's the M&P. It's like the steel frame. It's got like the blue haze to it. It's like the Spectre, whatever hell they damn call that damn M. Let me see real quick. Y'all bear with me or something for a second. Yeah, the Spec series. That one. Uh, this one right here. I don't know if y'all guys and girls can see that because the comments is on my screen right now. This the one I want right there. I definitely want to get me one of those. Yep. Yeah, man. That 2011 thing. Like I said, I see PSA done got in it. Uh, now I'll say this. Yeah, you right about that. Yeah, yeah, I want me one of those. Like I said, I'm at trophy stage. Well, kind of getting there. Uh, but I'll tell you this. I know I shouldn't be ragging on companies, but you can't sell me a Kel-Tec 2011. You can keep that. Because eventually they're going to migrate there. I love that PLR 16. I think the KSG is probably the only gun I probably would ever buy from Kel-Tec. Other than that, I shouldn't be ragging on them, but nah. I just can't. I can't see me buying a Kel-Tec 2011, and I'll tell you why. I've known too many people that had too many issues with Kel-Tec. And I know they tried to be the affordable firearm. And that was cool when they, looking back, 10 plus years ago when they came out with the KSG and the KS7, the one with the double tubes on it, I should have bought it. Okay. I should have bought it because they was cheap back then. But other than that, nah, I don't. Kel-Tec, um, I don't even think I could justify a Taurus 2011. I don't even think I can justify buying a 2011 Taurus. And you guys know how I feel about, I got Taurus revolvers and my G2C. I still don't think I could justify that. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I couldn't justify paying $1,000 for a Taurus 2011. Now, like I said, the only gun Taurus has that I'm willing to spend that much money on, and it's only because they don't make it. If I can find the 6 or the 8-inch barrel of the 454. Other than that, nah. And maybe I know the Raging Hunters, a used one. Maybe I'd buy a Raging Hunter in 44. Other than that, when it comes to a Taurus 2011, I couldn't imagine. I shouldn't rag on them like that, and I'm not. I'm saying Taurus doesn't excite me enough to make me even consider doing something silly like that. They just don't. Taurus, I don't think Ruger would ever make something like that just because that's not their game. But I say this. If Taurus and Ruger made a 2011, I'd buy a Ruger like that. You could convince me more to buy a Ruger 2011 than you ever could a Taurus. Taurus would have to send me a 2011 and let me do a comparison on it. Now, I don't usually believe in like 1,000, 2,000 round videos and what have you, because I know the average person ain't gonna shoot that much. But if you ever gave me a Taurus 2011, yeah, we doing 1,000 round review on that. I might actually even, every 100 rounds that I shoot, I probably would video all day. Yeah, now you can justify that. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, like I was saying, Taurus, I don't think I can justify spending. I also have the Judge Magnum. Okay. Yeah, I think Taurus make good revolvers. Now that, I told somebody about Taurus making good revolvers, and somebody told me about the Honest Outlaw. Did 1,000 or 2,000 round review, and the revolver laid down. Let's be honest. In this day and age, how many people's gonna run 1,000 rounds through a damn revolver? You guys and girls know that is not practical. I think my opinion about his channel, and I love it. I think he does practical shooting for the everyday person, but also professionals like security guards, things like that can see certain firearms and say, okay, yeah, this, and that. But let's be honest, the average person that buys a revolver is not gonna run 1,000 rounds through no damn revolver. I'm gonna tell you this: if I ever bought a Smith and Wesson 460, I probably would fire one full cylinder, and I don't even know if I would fire that thing again. Let me tell you something. My 454, yeah, I'm gonna definitely get me a 44 Magnum. My 454, you see the first time I fired that, I almost dropped it. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, you know what? I might get around to that. I do want to get me a 357 revolver, 6-inch barrel. It might be a Smith and Wesson. Might be a Smith and Wesson, but I do want to get me a 6-inch 357. Cause I got that 357 snub nose in there. It mostly collects dust. Um, Once in the blue moon, I'll pull it out of the safe because I'm going to get gas or something, and I'll have it with me. But there's very seldom I carry that. Um, but yeah, and, it's a lot of good stuff that's still out here. Like I said, I just try and feel like when I have discussions, I like to be practical with people. Like I said, Taurus. If you knew the firearms, Taurus, the G2C is what put Taurus back on the map, man. Because Taurus, the PT11, the first gen, I didn't ever hear nothing bad about. But some of the other stuff, oh my goodness, man. We know Taurus had a so-so uh, reputation of putting out some horrible stuff. And they hit the nail on the head with that G2. As a matter of fact, I think tomorrow, if I can do it tomorrow or Sunday, somebody want me to do a review of a G3 on my channel. They have the G3, and I'll probably do like a comparison between shooting both of them. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I never got interested in the 5.7 until Smith and Wesson made theirs. When I saw the PS90, that was the first 5.7 I ever saw. I didn't think much of it, and I see Kel now. To me, the Kel-Tec looks a little bit better than the PS90, that Kel-Tec P50. I'm just gonna be honest. I just can't see me. Maybe I might come around to it. It just didn't interest me, the Kel-Tec P50. Now, when I seen the Smith and Wesson, the Ruger, Smith and Wesson, and the PSA, yeah, yeah, 5.7 is one of them. To me, 5.7 is around like I would buy a 5.7 to say I have one. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it to be like a EDC. That's to say I got a 5.7. That's more for a collection piece for me. I got a cousin. He carries a 5.7. Uh, he don't go to the range a lot with it because the ammunition is ridiculous. Um, for me, like I said, I would probably buy the Smith and Wesson or the PSA or even the Ruger, and maybe dress it up, but I wouldn't shoot it that much. I probably would carry it once in a while. Um, it's like you said, it's one of the, up here in Iowa where I buy my ammunition at. Just recently went down on a price of 380, man, because for years, man, you guys and girls know I carried the 380 and uh okay. Um for a while, man, 380 was almost twice the price of 9 millimeter, man. And they finally then came down on the price. The yeah, that 5.7 going through vest. That has been the allure of that round. That's the number one reason people went and got that round. They say because it's supposed to go through vest because of the speed. Because my understanding is it has more velocity. Okay, okay. Yeah, man, because them 5.7 rounds. Oh, and then when the pandemic hit, my goodness. Okay, the right rounds to do, okay. But yeah, like I was saying, that's more of, for me, more of something I probably would have like as a novelty, you know. And like I was saying about the uh 380 coming down finally the price, man, because it was almost twice as much as 9 millimeter. And you know I carried a 380. I still do carry my PK 380 around from time to time. And my 38 Superman, when the general store was going out of business, man, I was able to get a lot of that stuff on sale. I got a lot of 38 Super. Yeah, man, the 380 finally up here. It started easing down, man. It's about the price of 9 millimeter now, finally. But I think that's due in part because that Smith& Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 is really a big seller. The Taurus 327 revolver. What's the 327? Y'all guys, girls gotta forgive me for the model numbers when it comes to these revolvers. What's the caliber to the 327 revolver? I hope that's not around because I've never heard of a 327. Because you know how Smith and Wesson and all that be having these, 386 and all this other stuff. So I like I said, my Taurus revolvers, I just call them by the rounds. I don't even. Uh, yeah, I've never heard of a 327. Maybe a 357. That's why I'm wondering, is it 680 is okay, 357. Wow, okay, it's basically a 32 Magnum. Yeah, man. See, that's why it's good to have these discussions because I had never heard of a 327. 32, boy, that's old. Oh my good. A 32 is like a 25 in this day and age. A 25 is like a 32, man. That's if they came up on the scene and saw 32, man, they'd be like, this is an old school person that committed this crime. But yeah, like I was saying, that 38 Super, uh, okay. That 38 Super, man, yeah, I got it on sale, and I stocked up on it. Yeah, man, that's if I was a detective right there, and I went to a shooting, and I saw 32 shells. First off, all the 32s I knew was revolvers, but let's just say I found a shell of a 32 and a 25. The first thing I'm gonna say is this person got to be 40 years. The shooter is 40 years old or older, cause young people don't know nothing about no 32 and no 25. That's the first thing gonna come out of my mouth. This got to be an old shooter. This is a 40. This middle aged to senior citizen. The 30 Super, yeah, I heard of a 30 Super. I got the 38 Super, but yeah, I've heard of a 30 Super. Yeah, man. Yeah, 5.7. Anything, a 25 and a 32, shit, that's an over 40 shooter there. That's middle age and senior citizen. You ain't gonna tell me there's no way in the world I think you can get. I would have to see it for myself. A 19-year-old or a 20-year-old shooting somebody with a 25 or a 32. I would have to see that with my own two eyes to believe that. If I sat on the jury, I tell you what, if I sat on the jury right now and they marched a 20-year-old out there and say he shot 3 people with a 25 or a 32, I'm finding him not guilty. I don't even have to listen to the evidence. I'm finding him not guilty because I don't believe that. I don't believe he used that. Yeah, I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I got a 357 SIG. Yeah, yeah. There's no way, man. No, there's just no a kid that uses in this day and age that uses a 32 and a 25. I got to meet his parents. I got to see what kind of parents he got to even know what a 25 and a damn 32 is. You just not in this day and age. Nah, you're not gonna get me to believe. You're not gonna get me to. You can convince me they used a 38. You can convince me they used a 22, but a 25 and a 32, nah. If I'm on the jury and he comes out there and they start going through the trial and they say this is the murder weapon and they put a little Larson 25 out there or they put a revolver that's a 32, in the back of my mind I'm saying they got to show me a video. I don't want him to have no. I'm not saying it's not deadly. What I'm saying is these youngsters don't know nothing about that. Yeah, no. I'm not saying it's not deadly. What I'm saying is this day and age, uh, these young kids don't know nothing about that. So I don't want to see no video of him running or her or the shiesty man. So no. I want to see a clear 4K picture of that person with that gun firing. Then you can get me believed. Other than that, a youngster that walk up in there and a 25 or a 32 is the gun he's charged with, nah, not guilty. Now you go get me a 40-year-old plus, oh yeah, he did it. She did it. That's old school there. That's old school. Hell, I remember the first 48 had an episode in Miami. Man, this was like 2008, 2009 time. Uh, and they was looking for this old dude. Yeah, like a youngster with a Derringer. They don't know what that is. This old dude, man, this Cuban dude, Colombian or whatever the hell he was, man, he killed his roommates. And they didn't find no shell casings, man. And when they went to go get him, he ran from them. They found 232s on the sidewalk, wrapped in tape, with tape around the handles, and they was like, yeah, this is an old school dude. Yeah, man. Hey, when I saw them 32s, even the detectives said, oh yeah, this is somebody old school. And this was like 2008, 2009. Yeah, you know what, since you brought it up, yeah, sometimes the influence on firearms, like, to me, the brand, but the aftermarket is something you got to be very careful about. You know, nowadays everybody want them extendos in their damn guns, man. And I say this: if it's not the original mag, if it's extendo and you gonna carry it, you gotta run it 5 times. For me, this is my rule of thumb. You gotta run it 5 times without one jam to even consider carrying that gun around with that extended mag in there. Sometimes a lot of these guys go out here and girls and they get these extended mags that don't work, but they look cool. They got 32 rounds, they got the clear mag, and it jams on. And it jams on them, man. And when it jams on them, man, it be the downfall of a lot of them. You know what I mean? So that's why, like I say, any extended mag, it's got to go through a test with me. You know what I'm saying? If it don't pass the test, yeah, as they say, it's a fun stick. I'll take it to the range. But, yeah, I don't. Usually, yeah, usually, usually whatever the gun comes with, that's usually enough for me. Like I said, my now my Q5, my match, my Walter. I got the plus 12 at the bottom um, to go and have fun with at the range. I've never had an issue with it because all it is basically an extra accessory. A revolver guy because of being around them young. Yeah. Well, like I said, um, for a time in New Orleans, I carried a revolver. I still feel comfortable with a revolver because every shot gonna count. Cause ammunition too expensive to just be ducking and doing this shit. But I still carry revolvers, from time to time. You know what? I got a chance to shoot one of them. I'm not sure what you call it. Because I don't remember if it's like a. It was kind of like at Arm 5. Somebody had a Glock out there. That was I don't. It didn't have a switch. I guess it had like a FRT on. And I tried. Nah, that's too much. That for me personally, I can't see myself having a fully automatic pistol in my hand to carry around and get in the shootout and I'm gonna be on target every time. Nah, for me, that's why I say when I choose my EDC, I always think about the public, number one, and number two, I want to be able to put rounds on target real quick. I even shot a AR that had a FRT. It's too much for me. I started shooting at the ground. By the time the mag ran out, I was already going over the hill. Semis are how old? Uh, 1945. Well, I guess you might even want to say that some people would classify 1911 as being semi. That's up for debate. But yeah, I mean, I carry a revolver. Like I said, from time to time, shit. I'll be around here, or I'll go riding around, or I might go grocery shopping, or sometime I'll go to the shopping mall and I got my damn 38 on me, or my 357 snub on me. And I know one thing. If I shoot you with that 357, I'm going to make sure I don't miss. Because after I get finished, I got to go to the damn hospital, boy, because my arm going to be throbbing. I ain't going to lie. That little snub nose 357, it kicks like it. I can't, man. That's why I said I got to get me a 6-inch 357. I feel more comfortable with that 6-inch. That little snub nose, my goodness, boy. You shoot them, was it 250 grain bullets or whatever? Yeah, man, I got a 357 snub nose. Oh, my goodness. So I'll tell you guys and girls this story again, if you don't know. In 2018, I broke my arm. I had lost a bet. Right before that, I think the Georgia Bulldogs had won the national title. So I had already planned on buying a 38, but because I lost the bet, I had to buy a 357, and I bought a snub nose. Right, not too long, a couple months after I bought that gun, I had never shot it. I broke my arm in half. On my old channel, when I was High Alert TV. Some years later, I decided to shoot that gun. It had to be 2000, just 2026. I said it had to be 2021, 2022. I shot that gun, and I can tell you after the first shot, one thing about when you post on the internet, you got a gazillion eyes watching you, so everybody knows somebody gonna notice something. I don't know how many people messaged me in the comment section that they noticed I almost dropped that gun. When I fired the first round, and I only got a 5 shotgun. When I fired the first round, I almost dropped that damn gun, man. I did not expect it to be that strong, man. I went ahead on it, got them other 4. I did like a cylinder dump. That was it. Yeah, well, I had called myself wanting to run some 357 strong. Boy, let me tell you something. After I filmed that video, I came home, I put that gun up, I grabbed my stuff, I went straight to the damn Y and jumped in the hot tub and put that arm in some hot water. Boy, my arm felt like somebody took a baseball bat and was hitting me. It felt like somebody would hit me on my arm with a baseball bat. I say, you can keep that. You can keep that, man. It hurt bad. So, um, after some years of working, in the gym and stuff, um, I got a better brace, stuff like that. I think I can handle it a little bit, but I got 357s in it. But usually when I take it to the range, I'll shoot 38s because 357s is expensive. And by the way, that's another thing I'm looking at this year. Maybe it'll be around Christmas time, but they so damn expensive. So there is I think it's like a Ronin, or what's the name of it? They make a 5-inch 357 in 1911. Boy, how I would love to have one of those, but it's very expensive, man. I see Desert Eagle makes the 357, but Magnum Research, I kind of feel 50-50 about them. I shot a couple of Magnum Researches, and well, the 50 AE was too much for me. The 44 was okay. My experiences with them have been pretty good, but now I'm thinking of the Desert Eagle in 357. There's a place in Des Moines that has one for sale. I'm thinking of I would go buy more 357 ammo. I would actually carry that from time to time. If it performs, a 357 Desert Eagle, probably like if I was gonna ride and go take a cruise or something like that. You know what I mean? Just cruise around or what have you. I would probably ride with that because I don't. Besides maybe getting gas or something, I don't plan on getting out the car. uh, yeah, yeah. So, Smith Wesson 500, forget it. Well dressed tactical. He teased me all the time. Which, by the way, shout out to my brother. I'm gonna give him a call tomorrow and see how he doing. Uh, that 500, they was shooting at it on 5. I was just watching. Hey, come on, you want to shoot this? Nah, I got more sense than that. I got one good arm, and I'm trying to keep it that way. I'll put it like this. I got an arm and a half. The other good half of this, I want to keep it like that. That I ain't even gonna play myself like that. I know that's too much for me. I ain't Superman and I ain't that brave. I got more sense. Sometimes it's better to have more sense than to be brave. That's how you live a long life for some people. Being smart instead of brave. So, um, yeah, like I said, man, it's just you guys will see the channel evolve. Like I said, I'm excited about my other channel. Um, yeah, 58E was bigger before. You know what? Speaking of a sawed-off shotgun, okay, I got a Mossberg pistol grip pump. It's another one. I had bought it and I had never shot it. I had it probably 2 or 3 years before I ever shot it. 2 or 3 years before I broke my arm. And after I broke my arm, I decided to shoot it. Boy, because I could. So the second surgery was they had to go in my arm here and put like a spreader in one of my nerves because the nerve was starting to close up and I was gonna have two dead fingers. So they had to have just some modifications inside of my elbow. So, besides up here, I can feel it in my elbow. Boy, I pulled the trigger of that pistol grip. I ain't even gonna lie, I was doing the mag dump. I wanted to stop it after the first shot. Man, that shit hurted so bad, I wanted to stop it. I hurry up and got them other 5 rounds. Boy, look at here. Now, my shotgun with the buttstock on it, yeah. But that pistol grip with nothing to, oh my goodness, I shot it at the hip. Boom! I almost dropped it. As a matter of fact, I wondered if I ever shot it on this channel. And, well, I got the pistol grip for nostalgia more than anything. Because it was one of the baddest things on the streets of New Orleans back in the 80s. Back in the 80s and early 90s, if you had a pistol grip pump, boy, look, when you pulled that out, ooh, that's a good deal for you. Because I don't think I can shoot a shot-off shotgun with 2 arms. 2 hands, let alone one. Let me tell you something. Since I done tore my arm up, if you guys and girls can see these 2 fingers right here, I don't even try shooting guns with 1 arm no more. I don't even try. I don't even try. I'm like Mr. Malone taught me. 2 hands. 2 hands. I think once or twice, like I've fired a gun 1 hand, but usually I try and shoot. Although I might get a little bit more practice in doing it 1 hand, I like to shoot 2 hands and just let that be that. But yeah, man. Like I said, it's the channel going to evolve. Appreciate everybody. This was a pop up. The channel going to evolve, and my other channel definitely gonna grow. So if you guys and girls got okay, yeah, I shot one of them Mossberg semi-automatics. It wasn't that bad. One day I was at a gun range and a guy had one out there, and I asked him to shoot it, and he let me shoot it. It was pretty nice. It wasn't that bad. To me, there's some guns I don't think people think about, like the Masada, the Jericho, the IWI Masada, the Jericho. A lot of people don't think much about them, but I hear that they pretty nice. The SAR, I like that SAR SOCOM. But I want to get me one of them SAR, the K12s? I would love to have me one of those also, man. Those things look nice. I mean, there's some sleepers. I've held a Ross Martin. I've never shot one. I did reach out to Ross Martin, and they responded back, so there's a possibility you might see one. If a Masada versus a Glock, I'm taking the Glock because I don't know a lot about the Masada. I've shot one. I ran maybe a mag through it, but I still don't know enough about the gun to say, yeah, I'm grabbing the Masada. I probably will roll with a Glock just because of Glock's reputation and my experience with Glock. I'm not a Glock fanboy, but now you guys and girls saw the video of my friend's Glock that blew apart. Now I know a lot of the Glockies don't like it, but yeah, I don't know enough about the Masada to grab it. Although Guns R Us, shout out to him, has a Masada, and he showed one, man. He dressed it up. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know enough about a Masada to say, oh, I'm grabbing my Masada. Nah. Now, I'll say this. This is gonna be blasphemous to some people. Now, if you told me between my Echelon and the Glock, I haven't had an issue with my Echelon, I'm going to tell you why I would grab an Echelon. Because the Echelon shoots smoother for me. Oh, you never heard of a Masada? Yeah, IWI make the Masada. It's a 9mm. They make the Masada and they make the Jericho. Yep, IWI, Masada, and the Jericho. Okay, you know what? I had an opportunity multiple times to buy a car, and I just didn't buy it because I didn't know a lot about it. The 9, the 45, the 40, and the 380. I had a chance to buy all of them. And the price wasn't very expensive. I just didn't know nothing about them, so I didn't buy none. And wind up, one of the guys I worked with at the time had one. Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, them IWI Masada. Um, I think Israeli and some other overseas special forces use them. Carve 380, very reliable. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna keep that in mind. Um, but yeah, yeah, like I said, IWI Masada. I've heard a lot about it. I just don't know a lot about it. And the Jericho and stuff like that, you know. SAR. I think SAR. I shot that. I shot that SAR SOCOM. Oh yeah, Saturday Night Special. Man, let me tell you something. When I got my hands on one Saturday Night Special, I thought I was badass. See, when I got that second one to go with it, oh, I thought I was fucking Yosemite Sam. Boy, I thought I was the baddest thing on two damn feet, boy. You couldn't tell me shit back then. When I had them two damn Saturday Night Specials, boy. I just thought I was the baddest thing walking the streets of New Orleans. I ain't kidding. I was like, I thought I was fucking. I'm not kidding. I thought I was fucking Yosemite Sam. Oh yeah. You have a Jimenez? Oh, bless your heart. I don't want people to say bless your heart. Nah. As a matter of fact, I shot a Jimenez on this channel. My goodness. It, it, it's just almost as bad as shooting a hot. You know what? Jimenez just came around during that time where so many companies made these horrible fucking guns, man. It's uncomfortable. I got little hands. It's uncomfortable for me to shoot, man. That thing, it was literally like shooting a fucking brick. It is uncomfortable. Yeah. Yeah. I shot it when I shot my daughter 380 easy, but that Jimenez, I mean, I shot it at 9. I would buy a Jimenez for nostalgia. I think like if I ever found a Larson 25 for affordable price, Jimenez, maybe a couple of them other companies that went out of business, I would buy it for nostalgia reasons. Like I brought that. When I find me an actual Tech 9 with the shroud on it, I'm gonna buy one for nostalgia reasons. I ain't carrying that shit. You know what? I'm gonna say this about High Point. When it comes to that damn carbine, man, I've heard nothing but wonderful things about that carbine. Yeah, pause and play. That they carbines, them pistols. Well, you guys and girls already saw me shoot 50-50 AK. You bet your life on this channel. But yeah, man, on Tech 9, everybody know that was another thing that got a lot of people killed. Look at Sportsman's Outdoor Warehouse. Yeah, yeah, we got that around here. In Ankeny. Yeah, man, but I don't even want to get started on the High Point stories this morning. We can be here till. Okay, okay. Yeah, man. The Tech 9. That was another one. People would shit their pants when you pull the Tech 9 out because of the look. But for the guys that was real gangsters, when somebody pulled the Tech 9 out, some of them used to laugh at them. Man, you better go put that shit up and go get something else that damn shoot. Everybody know, man, Intratech had bad quality. Yeah, yeah. You know what? um the High Point PCC, that High Point carbine, when we had the general store here in town, man, they said that they would sell them as fast as they can get them. I almost bought one day. It was camouflage. I said, yeah, I told him, he's Mr. Walker. Got that High Point there. Come on, you know you want it. Stop letting your bias get in the way. Yeah. Oh, boy, look here. I'll give you a story about that. I decided I'm going to wait till the end of the week to go get that High Point. I went back. He said, shit, we done sold 3 of them already. He said we sell them as fast as we can get them. Y'all hold on just a second. Hold on 1 second. Bear with me. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. The first time I ever saw a the first time I ever saw a Tech 9 was in the St. Thomas Project on Annunciation. I saw this dude, for those of y'all who don't know how wild New Orleans used to be back in the 80s and 90s, but the St. Thomas Project was just something totally, that was a totally different animal. And we riding down the Annunciation going to my uncle's house because he lived on St. Thomas and Annunciation in that first courtway right there. This dude, never forget, he got a Bull starter jacket on. And he had the one with the logo on the back. So for those of y'all who don't know, in New Orleans, starter jackets was something they used to rob for. But if you had the ones with the, you know how some of them had the team name and then some of them had the logo. If you had the logo on the back, oh yeah, they definitely wanted that. And this dude got his Bull starter on, this big old red, the overcoat. Because you know they had the pullovers and overcoat. Boy, he just walking up St. Thomas Street. He got this big old Tech 9 in his hand. And the police just ride right by him and just keep going. And they see it. And then another cop car comes by and they look at him and they just keep going. But that was a wild place back there. That was the first time I had ever actually seen a Tech 9 in person, boy. I'll tell you, man. Yeah, man. It was it was a wild thing, man. And everybody that had them would say that across the country. You guys don't know what a Tech 9 made me feel like. When I got a Tech 9 in my hand, I thought I was damn Superman. That's what a lot of people would say, man. It's made by Intratec. Intratec was known for selling shit that jam. That was their problem. Like I said, the original Tech 9, which eventually I'm gonna get my hands on, the shroud was what scared everybody, the barrel with the shroud. And that's why they had to cut the barrel off. And I got the Tech 9 basically with the barrel cut off. It's still a piece of crap. I'm supposed to be taking it to a gunsmith that's going to change the internals and see if he can get it to work properly. I mean, I would love to be able to have it sometime just because I got 350 round mags for it. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to definitely look into that. But boy, I tell you, yeah, man. For me, it was a Saturday night specials, man. I got 238 snub noses. Okay. Yeah, shit. Oh, shit. I think I was in high school when Tootsie Roll came out. No. Might have been going to high school. Because what, Tootsie Roll came out in 94, or 93 or 94? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I was going to say, because I remember when we went to the Franklinton Fair in 94. No, 95. 95. That was still a big song. 94. That was still a big song. So, the Franklinton Fair. No. Tootsie Roll. I know it was 96. Yeah, I know it was 96. I know it had to be 93 or 90. Had to be 94, maybe into 93 because I was already going to coin. I was in the 10th grade. And I remember when we went to the Franklinton Fair, boy, they was crazy about that song up there. I mean, that shit, every ride you got on, they was playing Tootsie Roll. Hell, that was the damn touchdown dance when we used to play football. Yep. Okay, you 45, I'm 47. So yeah, I'm about right. I'm about right about when that came out. Yeah, man, that was the thing. So, but yeah, man. Like I said, I can't imagine how things would be if firearms back then had the quality that they had now. Back then, man, they just was heavy, but they didn't have good quality, man. I mean, like, and I don't mean like the big brands. I mean all the ones that went out of business. They went out of man. Their quality was just garbage. If they had good quality, man, it would have just been. Yeah, you're right. You're right. A lot didn't change, man. A lot didn't change since back in them days, man. A gun was a gun. Now, shit. Boy, we critique everything, and now with the internet, that you can actually look at somebody review a gun before you go and buy it. Back then, it wasn't like that. Back then, it was you see a gun, you go in the gun store, you buy it. If you bought them off the street, whatever somebody had to sell, people just bought it. How I feel about Springfield Armory? That's what I carry, our Echelon. They surprised me. I didn't think Springfield was gonna do that good of a job, man. But I'll tell you, everybody I've let shoot that gun talk about how much they like it. Yeah, yeah. Colt, Beretta, Smith, Wesson, Ruger was probably for the average everyday person. Those was household names, and those was kind of the brands. You know, if you bought one of those, you was batting 1,000. Now you bought anything outside of that, good luck. Good luck. A lot of them rinky-dink companies that was able to operate, that they would sell you something, it wouldn't shoot. But if you ever had to put a damn nail in the wall and hang a picture, all you had to do was grab that damn gun because it was so heavy and just knock on it. You put a nail through a wall. Yeah. Yeah, you right about that. Hell, I remember back in New Orleans, back when Beretta had the 92, the M92. Oh, man, my goodness. Yeah, Colt is a high quality price. Yeah. If you had that Beretta, though, the Beretta 92, man, you was taking a chance with NOPD, even if you got it legally. They wanted that. They tell you, no, you got to come get this from the police station. Yep, them 92 Berettas, boy. In order for me to carry something like that in New Orleans, it's got to be an old beat up one. Okay.
Back door.
She coming in here late. I guess she is grown. But yeah, man, like I was saying, okay, yeah, that's a good deal though. All them Saturday night specials. But yeah, man, Colt. Like I said, you know, when you talk about Colt and a revolver, you know, you talking about top of the line. So that's one of the Colt is something you buy in this day and age, specifically for display. You don't buy Colts to carry around. You don't buy Colts to carry around. You buy a Colt to say you got a Colt. All right. Yeah, you buy a Colt. Just yeah, you buy a Colt nowadays just to say I got a Colt, and I'm showing it off. Yep, Rolex and Timex. That Colt. That's something you wear to a meetup that you're not gonna shoot, but everybody gonna admire you. I don't know. I don't know about that Larson. The Larson 25 is the first gun I ever fired. Um, Back in the days, I know Larson had a big problem with jamming and going off. So that little Larson 25 I had, all I had to see was one of my friends' shit go off. I got rid of that quick. Yeah, let me go get rid of this. I fuck around and shoot myself. So I got rid of that. Yeah, man, but I've been on here about 2 hours. I was supposed to do a 30-minute damn programming. Man, let me go ahead on because I got to get up in a little bit and take my daughter to her damn jazz concert competition. So, okay, I'll keep that in mind the next time I buy a Larson. I won't use Winchester and I'll see how it works. But, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in to this impromptu live stream. Um, I appreciate y'all. Make sure you subscribe to I Got My Foot in It, the other channel. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. This has been an impromptu. Okay. And you know what? And until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay armed, and you make sure you stay on high alert. And we out.